Coach, you're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. On tap, we've got what should be a fairly intriguing matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, from the stadium that hosted Super Bowl 51 back in 2017, we are inside NRG Stadium in Houston. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, we look at this Texan ball club entering play here. They come in off a loss in the opener last week. That one was on the road. Now they get their first taste here of home cooking.
And what they're hoping to do is feed off the energy of the home crowd. Great tailgate, great fan support. Let's see if they can put it to good use.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Jaguars, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column.
Something's got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
Two clubs here, each looking to rebound from a Week 1 loss as we're underway on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. They're led out by their quarterback out of Fresno State, Derek Carr.
He had the numbers of a game last week that if you win, you talk about him being a gritty guy, managing the game, getting it done. But they lost. So obviously 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown pass, that's not going to be good enough. Got to get that changed around.
Carr now to throw. This is caught by Antonio Brown. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 13 yards on the game's opening play. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. This is the 3rd-round pick out of FAU, Devin Singletary. And he's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. And these are the guys we're about to see down on the turf in just a moment.
Joe Staley, the left tackle, one of the most respected players in the league, as well as one of the most talented.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They fake the handoff. Now Carr. Blitz coming, and down he goes. They can't stop Bruce Irvin there as he slips in for the sack.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
In a blink of an eye, that happened fast, and a big sack.
I can't believe they let you play. I can't believe they even let you play.
Now a play fake. Carr. And able to find Dorsett. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first. So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. They'll run on 1st down with Singletary. And a 6-yard gain gets them right around the 43. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early. But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. Here's Carr to throw. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. The 305-pound Ndamukong Suh finding the path to the QB there.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. They run it with a rookie from Alabama, Josh Jacobs. DeMarcus Lawrence in on the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down now. It's Jacobs. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
On 3rd down, Winston. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The sack by Robert Quinn. And, Charles, part of the reason they lost last week, they didn't have a single sack. Well, they changed that quickly.
But did they ever? And it was something they talked about with us extensively. They needed to get pressure. How were they going to get to the quarterback? Obviously, they schemed themselves into a great play, didn't they?
A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win 1st down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating 1st downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage.
And that pass is going to be intercepted by the All-Pro DB Desmond King. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
Here's Jacobs. A check on Jacobs from a week ago. 18 carries, 82 yards, and a touchdown.
And well-liked by his teammates. In fact, I got on good authority, even though I'm not an investigative reporter, that in their team meeting this week, the offensive line stood up and said, Coach, we've got to have better yardage for this guy. He's number 9 in the league. He's got to be in the top 3 before the season's over. Let's run the ball.
From the 27, Winston. He finds McKinnon, complete. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. They run it with Jacobs. And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Jameis to throw it. It's caught. Smith. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 10 yards there. Good enough for a Jags first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
On first down, Jacobs. The tackle by Robert Quinn.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
Here we go.
They go play action. Winston. And he is going to wind up losing yardage here, as that will take us to the end of the first quarter play. Ready for the second quarter, and it's our visitors with the football, as they've got it with a 3rd down and long coming up. No score after 1 on EA Sports. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down.
Switch. Watch the twitch. Watch the twitch. 5 on the 50. 5 on the 50. 5 on the 50. Go. 56. Mike's 56. You run. 5-0.
Working out of the gun, Winston. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Fletcher Cox, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. He is proving his worth defensively. Getting the sack here, that comes after being named the AFC Defensive Player of the Week for his performance in last week's game.
He's stacking games together, isn't he? I mean, you just mentioned what he did the previous week to be named AFC Defensive Player of the Week, continuing to play at that level. And when you get that kind of confidence going, those kind of guys are hard to stop.
Well, that'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
There to stop him on the defensive side, Fred Warner. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. On 2nd down, here's a run with Singletary. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on 2nd down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is just going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
Complete to Dorsett. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. They'll run on first down. Singletary. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before that he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, Big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
They'll get that one out quickly to Brown. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Carr completes it, and he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 21.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
Carr now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of Skip. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Jason Witten, his first touchdown of the new season, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. This will be fielded at the 6. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Winston now. Got a man open. It's Darren Waller. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
How about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield, and spills the play.
Yeah, he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. The Jaguars on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Here's Winston. Forced it, and Winston lost the football. And he can only get this to the 42-yard line, and that is not near enough.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this 2nd week of the regular season. A throw left side to start out. That's complete. And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 15. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down. The last time we saw Jason Witten on a football field instead of the broadcasting booth was, of course, 2 years ago, 2017. He had 63 catches, 560 yards, 5 touchdowns. It was his 11th Pro Bowl that season for a man who came into the league back in 2003. Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. Earlier in the quarter when the defense was keying on the run, you said offensively they need to open things up, take some shots downfield. Didn't work there, but they did it.
Yeah, I'm not going to change my tune now. I still think it's the right play because when you take those shots downfield, you open the eyes of the defense to what you could do to them, and that may open some things up for you offensively.
And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Thought they were going to force a fourth down. Instead, PI gives them the first.
And that's frustrating because you think you've taken them really deep into the count, haven't you? Instead, you've got to start all over. That can really, really be demoralizing.
On first down, Carr. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves them with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Now Carr again. And this is caught by Witten, the tight end. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. Carr to throw again. He finds Dorsett. It's complete. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 33. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Again, they'll throw with Carr. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. 2nd down. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down. The last catch nearly got him a first, but it did not, and they'll try to convert on 3rd and inches. Dorsett making the catch. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1.
Let's go, team. Gonna be a long day offense.
Again, it's Carr. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. Now Carr. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Antonio Brown, the intended receiver. But now it's 3rd and goal. Two incompletions haven't moved him any closer. And likely throwing again, you'd have to think on 3rd and goal here. Carr going to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Jason Witten in the final seconds of the first half. And the Texans push further out in front. No surprise there, 3rd and goal down here. That's where they're going to look for their tight end.
Yeah, you want that big guy running his routes because it doesn't matter who they cover him with. If it's another big guy, he might use his bulk against him. If it's a shorter defender, might go over the top. Either way, you tend to find a little bit of a mismatch in that area.
This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet.
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble.
We got this.
So we come upon halftime with our... And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. This is fielded at the goal line.
Let's go, fellas.
Out come the Jaguars now as he'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. The reception, good for... For 7, it's third down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. To throw, Winston. And he's got his tight end, that's Smith. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
A little bit of space there for the first down run, as that's going to get him about 5 yards. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Give him 3 yards there on the first down pickup.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that first. To throw is Winston. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down.
Watch the slant. Even. Under 10. Let's go.
Running is Jacobs. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. On first down, they go with Jacobs again. Not much there. Maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
Going for it with McKinnon. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. That one good for a gain of 13 for Jacksonville and a first down. The field goal would have been a pretty decent length, but I'm still kind of surprised they didn't kick it.
Yeah, I know, because you think you take the 3 there, trust him, but at the same time, if you can't pick up a few inches in this situation, you probably don't deserve to win the game anyway. Go get it, and they did.
Now left side on the swing pass, and he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
And boy, that hole closed quickly, and I don't think McKinnon got there.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
I guess they figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this 3rd quarter as he'll go for it on 4th down. They go with Jacobs, and they are going to stop him on 4th and 1 as they'll wind up going backwards. Doug Marrone can only shake his head. His guys are turned away, and this Texans defense stands tall. So they finally get their first trip to the red zone, and it ends with nothing.
And that's what I'm going to focus on with you because you teed it up really well. Finally get to the red zone. So there's got to be a little bit of frustration because they haven't moved the ball as well as they wanted to all game. Now they get there, but we got to go for it because we don't know if we can get back here again. We don't know how many opportunities because they've been sputtering a little bit.
Absolutely. At this stage in the second half, to get there and not get it for the first time, tough. On 2nd down, Singletary. And down he'll go at the 25. And now we'll get a timeout. Looks like we've got a Jaguar in some discomfort down there on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. On 1st down, they stick with Singletary. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
They will run with Singletary. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he'll punt it away. Away for the second time. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. This is taken at the 23.
Let's go. Let's do it.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And you're still in this game. I mean, yeah, you haven't scored. Offense obviously has struggled, but you're only 2 scores down, so all hope not lost.
Not at all, because we're talking about the NFL, and teams can score fast in this league. Quick strikes, you're right back in it. You're exactly right. Keeping hope alive. All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Jacobs from the gun. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on 2nd and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
They'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Hate to say it, but that play typifies what we've seen from this offense all game long.
Yeah, don't you think maybe you flip over your play sheet as the offensive coordinator and see the side that says try something different? Because this has not worked all game long. They continue to try and get it done. They've got to come up with something a little bit different. Try something special, something they haven't seen.
Anything to score a point. That was play number 7 on this drive, and it got him 7 yards. The Jaguars on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, Winston. Escaping the pressure right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Robert Quinn able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. On 1st down, it's Jacobs. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Here's Winston. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. It's a gain of 5, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. The Jaguars on 3rd down. They've converted a 1/3 of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This will be 3rd and 6. Now Winston. He'll find his tight end. That's Waller. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Winston under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sack back around the 8. The tank, DeMarcus Lawrence with a sack. So still over 3 minutes remaining in this game, but boy, not getting that one that hurt.
That's a little bit demoralizing, so they have to be careful about that because still have an opportunity if they can get some things done on defense. But now, since they've taken over on downs, a team with the ball, guess what? Going to 4-minute offense, maybe they can put this thing away.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. A quick throw out wide, caught by Robinson. And he will lose yardage here back to his own 6. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver.
And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off at the 16. And he'll bring it back to about the 5-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back?
And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Herb Smith Jr. with his first career NFL touchdown as his guys are back within a single score. Well, that didn't take long. The turnover instantly almost turning into points.
And when that happens, a lot of teams have the mentality of let's strike right now. You've got them off balance after the turnover or the takeaway. Let's go get it. And that's exactly what they did.
This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. And now out comes Houston. They've been asleep for a little while on this side of the football, Charles, and the score is just a one-score game now. Haven't had any points this half. What gives?
Let's go old school here. All right, let's get back to the basics. Get back to running the football, high percentage throws. Find the guys that eat pressure and make plays for you and make sure they touch it.
And now a timeout taken here defensively with 2:07 remaining. So they'll also have the stop coming up at the 2-minute warning. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Here's Singletary. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. Here we go, 3rd and 1. Gut check time on both sides. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They're facing a critical 3rd down now as they try to hold on to this lead. Singletary again. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now Carr. And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. On third down, they go with Singletary. And he does take it in for the touchdown, but a flag on the field, and I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, don't put the points on the board just yet.
Late game, that hurts. Take the touchdown off the board.
No doubt about it, and this is where you make a great movie scene, right? Go in, rally the team. Okay, we lost points there. Let's get it back and go out and score again. Can he get it done?
Now a run with Singletary, and they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. The Jaguars now will use the last of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. This is taken at the 15. Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. Now the Jags will have great field position to start this drive as they take over on the short side of the field. Meanwhile, in Nashville, they're on to the fourth quarter now. And it was the Colts emerging victorious. A win would be their first of the young season. Winston readies the offense. Down 14-7. A little under 40 seconds to go. They need a touchdown and the PAT to tie it as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Winston. He's going to let it fly. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off down at the 2.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
He finds Robinson. And he's only able to get it to right around the 3. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. So Houston going to come away here with the victory. And it was a bit of a strange game. They were held scoreless through the entire second half, but their first half output, that's enough to carry them to victory.
And that's an odd game to watch, isn't it? Because when we saw the output in the first half, you think to yourself, okay, they've got something working here. They know what they're doing. They'll continue that along. But instead, it's goose eggs in the second half. Fortunately, enough of a cushion and enough defense to carry them home.
So for Houston, they make amends for their Week 1 loss by winning their home opener. And they will hit the road next week to take on the LA Chargers. Meanwhile, for the Jaguars, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against Jacksonville. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gautin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.